Morning, MBA fans and friends. So excited to bring you our next edition of the MBA's Economic Development Investor Spotlight. I'm joined today by Brian Keeler from Spence Brothers, and really excited to have you here. So thanks for making the time.
Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate it, and certainly looking forward to hearing from you this morning.
Wonderful. So I always like to start with your why. So not only just your personal why of why you're with Spence Brothers, why you're in, the construction industry, but also why Midland.
Well, all these questions, I've got a little bit of a prep time, so I've tried to work on some answers, but I'm sure they'll be a little bit sporadic. But, Spence Brothers has been in the region for over 100 years building construction, and, we consider Midland home, even though our headquarters is in Saginaw. In the construction industry, you can't just build in one community and not spread out in the surrounding communities. So we're throughout the Great Lakes Bay region with a lot of projects, and a lot of our people, live in Midland County as well. So we consider Midland home, even though headquarters is in Saginaw.
Sure. How many employees does Spence Brothers have these days?
It's seasonal. We're probably in the 200 to 250 range. It kind of goes up and down just depending on the projects and the types of seasons.
Wonderful. So with Spence Brothers being around for 100 years, you have to have some pretty solid mission, vision, and values that have carried you through over those 100 years. So what are those core pieces for you?
Yeah, well, it's simple, we say. Simple. SIMPLE, right? Simple. S stands for safety. Of course, that's first and foremost across the board. The I stands for integrity. So we look at every project, you look in the mirror, is that something that's fair? When you're building something, is that a fair? It may not be something that's good for us, but if that's the fair thing to do, so we stand, in front of a mirror for integrity. M is the mentoring. We're always trying to mentor our own people, but then also mentor clients. If the experience for the client when they're building a project is to learn a little bit and to be educated in the construction and feel like they're involved, it's always a better outcome.
Sure.
See, the P is people. That's pretty self-explanatory. The L, legacy. With over 100 years, we're always saying we're here forever. Call us in 5 years, call us in 10 years, and we're going to be back. So the legacy stands on, and then excellence. We love to win awards. We love to showcase our projects. We love to show and tell. It's probably the most rewarding part of building really cool buildings is the excellence part, where you get to show and tell them across the board.
Sure, absolutely. I think in economic development, we like to win. So I can absolutely understand that. So for you personally, how do you, or which one of those values do you feel like you connect most closely with?
Well, probably the win part, the excellence. Most of my career has been in the construction management, where you're negotiating and trying to win work, and it's all about celebrations, events, whether they're groundbreakings or ribbon cuttings, and just having celebrations part of the construction project. So for me, that's the most fun part. Everyone calls me the party planner, and I like to think of myself as more than just party planning, but I know I'm the one that's pushing those all the time.
Celebrating the work. I love it. So one of those values you mentioned was mentoring. And one of the things we talk a lot about in Midland is the accessibility of leadership, from our smallest to our largest businesses, and being able to see your leadership, on Main Street on Friday night, or at a game on a Wednesday, or whatever it looks like. How do you feel like mentorship plays a role in Spence?
It's absolutely critical. I mean, we have an open door policy from the bottom to the top at any time. We're strong in the leadership programs in all of the region, whether or not it's the Bay region, the Saginaw, or the Midland business, futures, where you're going through the leadership class. We look every year to determine which members of our team, would be good fits in those, and try to put them in different groups. So it's certainly an open door policy for all of our employees to learn and want to grow into those mentorship.
That's wonderful. So part of being a leader is being faced with different challenges, or having to kind of learn on the fly or build a new skill set. So I'd love to know about something, maybe an unanticipated need for growth that you experienced.
Oh, every day it seems like something will come up. A couple of them that come to mind when I think about that is, you know, in the post-COVID era, we've become a lot more focused on employees. And I don't know if it's because just everyone is busy, lack of resources out there. So you're always thinking, so we took this whole, maybe in the old days, it was a little more hard-nosed, get it done, don't stop kind of attitude you can imagine in construction, where now today it's much more employee driven. And I see it a lot more in the last 5 years, let's say, just since post-COVID, and just wanting more of a sense of work that's not a job. It's more of fun. It's extended family. It's just got to be fun. Otherwise you'll lose them and they'll go somewhere else. So it's, circling back to, didn't expect it, didn't see it. Of course, I'm a very people-oriented people person. I'm always trying to think about what are others thinking. Are they enjoying themselves? Do they like work? Do they enjoy coming to work and doing what they're doing? So resetting my mindset, but then also probably convincing others inside the group that that's important. We have to re-recruit our people and make sure they're happy working for Spence Brothers.
Sure, sure. We definitely would echo that. We've seen a much larger focus on talent retention and the employee experience post COVID, maybe being locked up or locked down or in our homes for a year or so, really made us see that need for connections.
Yeah, I mean, we want everyone to be in the office working because we like that collaboration and that team, but we're more flexible than we've ever been before
Sure.
in the past, just with that idea.
Sure, and that's a bit of a challenge in the construction industry, right? The
Absolutely.
flexibility piece.
It's hard to build buildings when you're not on site.
Sure. So, one of the questions that always resonates well is you talk about your team, you talk about the people and the talent. So, I'd love to know any particular announcements or celebrations of your staff or your team that we should include here.
Well, that was a tough question as well. So we've had a lot of hires in the last couple of years. We're doing more work than we've done in the past. So we've had a lot of hires. We just this past year, we hired a new CFO, which is a big hire, obviously, in a company of our size. And this individual actually lives in Midland. Our previous CFO lived in Midland as well. But so corporate CFO, and we've got a corporate safety director. New hire just in the last year. We are, there's lots of other hires. I don't know if I want to go down the list of start identifying, because I'll probably skip and miss someone. But we've got from a couple of those to, a multitude of interns that are coming on this summer, from different colleges, just to give them the experience in the construction and give them an opportunity to see if they're a good fit. I'll say one, it's not out there necessarily. We're 100% ESOP owned as of December 31st, 2024. So that's been a strategic thing that we've worked on the last few years to become that. We feel that's a really, really important. I don't think it's on our website yet. We're going to start promoting it here in 25 now that it's official, but that's, I'd say that's some new news.
Absolutely. So, because you do spend time in Midland, I have to ask, what's your favorite spot? Watering hole, perhaps, or coffee shop?
Well, I would not bring up on video my favorite watering hole. I wouldn't want to do that. You called it a hidden gem. And, I started thinking about it. I was like, maybe I felt a little boring because I didn't have a hidden gem that just popped right out. Two things that come to mind. Obviously, going to the baseball games at Loons. I'm a sports fanatic, whether it's the Pistons, Lions, Red Wings, Tigers, but then here locally to watch the Loons and the Spirit play. I wouldn't call it a hidden gem, so sorry about that. It's not real secretive. If I had to think a little bit outside of the box, it'd probably be back to the Butterfly House. Again, it's not hidden.
Of course.
Everyone is aware that's local here. Taking my daughter there when she was growing up, it's some awesome memories. I mean, she's still only 12, but doesn't spend as much time as she used to with me doing those types of things. So I really look back, and that's probably a special place here in Midland.
Sure, certainly would echo that with my own little lady. So maybe a book, podcast, leader, entrepreneur, someone you follow that really inspires you, other than your own leadership, of course. But
So Again, in the last few years, Spence is, we've taken on the EOS management leadership strategy. So we started promoting level 10 meetings and working our way down. So Joe Hickman with the book Traction, that's probably a book we just finished last fall, maybe it was last summer. Understanding that EOS system and strong read. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm not a huge reader. Just feels like you never have time.
Sure.
And podcast is something that's on my to-do list of learning how to really get involved in those, because I think I'm behind the times on podcasts. But so I think the EOS system is something we've been spending some time on and probably strongly recommend it. If you're not familiar, it's all about getting the right people in the right seats and making sure all of our management team is, like, let's say, rowing in the same direction.
Absolutely.
Sounds simple, and everyone thinks maybe that's the case, but you dive in and it's not always as crystal clear as you think.
Absolutely. Well, fun fact, I'm actually a certified EOS integrator. So,
Okay. So
yes, so you're
perfect.
preaching to the choir.
Perfect.
Yeah, so absolutely wonderful system. And I'm a huge, huge fan. I think I've read all of them. The new book, I don't know if you've seen, is called Shine. It's Gino's newest one. It's all about really focused on talent and people and bringing out the best in your people. So it's a decent read.
Okay, that's next.
Yeah. So last, I'll just ask, what's next for Spence? What's on the horizon? What are you looking forward to next?
We've got 25 is going to be a busy year, which is awesome. It's fun. It's a great time for the industry right now. Construction's fun. It's busy. Years ago, it wasn't necessarily the case. So we've got some really exciting projects here in Midland, which is really cool. It's become, we've got more work in Midland than we do in all the other neighboring counties around. From Midland Center for the Arts is going through some significant renovations. It's underway. The Dow Gardens Welcome Center is under construction. That'll probably be on the tops of my list over the next year. And we're working on the Sanford dams in the Edenville Dam. So Midland has become really a core piece of our work, and some really cool projects that are coming through 25 and even into 26. So hopefully some more award winners. Certainly qualified to be award winners. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, wonderful. And we're certainly glad that you're working here in Midland, and always appreciate Spence Brothers and your investment in economic development and in Midland as a whole. So thank you so much for your time this morning.
Oh, I really appreciate the time. It was easier than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I appreciate it.